Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are at 40,000 YouTube subscribers. How the hell did that happen? Before I talk about that, if you're new to the channel, seeing as though we've had a whole bunch of people who have just come along for the first time, you might be watching some of my content. I'm Andy. I used to be very depressed, very suicidal. I went through all of that, healed all of that. Then I went on a bit of a journey to learn to get good with women. I'd been in some relationships in the past, but they just hadn't been what I was looking for. I had a whole bunch of sex, a whole bunch of BDSM, a whole bunch of threesomes, all of that good stuff. Then I met my lovely partner, Imogen or Imi, and we've been together for 6 years. At this point in time, we sleep with and date women together. We have a whole bunch of beautiful experiences with them. I'm on a very spiritual path at the moment towards peace and love and giving as much back to the world and to other people as I can. I am also a life coach, a sex and dating coach, all of that good stuff. And yeah, that should catch you sort of up to date on who I am. On this channel, we cover basically any topic that I feel like, or anything that I think people are sort of struggling with, or would like some advice or some help or some motivation. So we cover sex, we cover dating, we cover relationships, we cover love, we cover BDSM, we cover starting a business, we cover peace and love and enlightenment and anything like that. So basically, I am here for whatever people would like from me, and I try and give as much as I can. And we're just a pretty positive, pretty uplifting, I guess you would say, self-improvement community. You can probably categorize this channel and this community as just a self-improvement channel. Most of the audience, maybe 75%, are men, but there's a fair chunk of you women who, subscribe and listen. And yeah, that's about us. All right, so those of you who've been around with the channel for a while, you know that it took me a good, 4 years to get to 10,000 subscribers. And that was such a huge milestone. And that happened, we can look at this graph here. We hit 10,000 subscribers somewhere around here. So somewhere around, March this year, just a little bit earlier this year, basically last month. And then you might say, how did you go from 10,000 subscribers to 41,000 or 40,000 in a month? How the hell is that even possible? Well, my friends, let me show you something that I've been playing around with in YouTube. YouTube recently offered this thing up here called promotions. And when you click this, you can promote any of your videos, and you literally just pay to have YouTube or the algorithm show your videos to people. And I played around with quite a few of them, and I got to a point where I could spend roughly $1 Australian, maybe like 75 US cents, and I would get one subscriber out of that. And I played around with different, videos and different titles and all of that kind of stuff and just had a bit of fun. And then one particular video blew the fuck up. So this one here, it's my breakup guide of what to do if you've just ended a relationship, how to be okay. It's basically a big warm hug to any of you, especially men, who might have just ended a relationship, or maybe she broke up with you and you're a little bit sad. And this video is basically a guide of how to be okay and how to get through that. Anyway, I spent 800 Australian dollars, which is roughly 500 US dollars, so not a lot. And this video got shown to 4.5 million people, which is insane when you think about it. Spend about 500 US dollars and 4.5 million people will see your video. And that got us, let me move this a little bit. As you can see here, 11,500 subscribers. And I had another video or a few more videos that popped off as well. And I spent what is in my mind not a lot of money. 500 US dollars is not something crazy to get 11,000 subscribers. So that has where that has come from. That's why we're currently sitting at, like I said, about 41,000 subscribers. I'm definitely going to keep playing around with paying for this because this is insane to me. This is very much, I think, the early days of the, promotions tab on YouTube. Any of you out there who have a channel, maybe you want to experiment with this yourself. It seems to me to be something utterly insane that I can spend $500 and get 10,000 subscribers, especially because in the past, like I said, it took me about 4 years of just non-stop content. I've got like 500 videos on my channel, and I was non-stop grinding. And YouTube did a pretty good job of showing my videos to, a pretty decent range of people. But man, if I can just pay $500 and you will show my video to 4.5 million people, which is just utterly insane to me. It's like that just seems like a no-brainer to me. Absolutely no-brainer. So that's where all the views have come from. I thought it might be fun. Obviously, I'm incredibly grateful. I say that every time I hit a milestone, but this almost happened so quickly that I'm unprepared. So I guess I'll sit here and say, off the cuff, I'm incredibly grateful that I get to be in this position. I'm incredibly grateful that I get to coach people and that's how I pay my bills. I'm incredibly grateful that I can work whenever I want to. I can take as much time off as I want to. I get to just sit here with all of you and hang out and help you with your goals, and you help inspire me with my own goals. It feels like this beautiful community that we've built. And I get paid for this. I get to pay the bills for this, and not just pay the bills through this. I get to support my girlfriend. She works with me full time as well. I get to support my friend, Cam, who comes on the channel a lot of the time. I have 2 coaches in my coaching program that I get to give as much love and help as possible that I can to them, and then they help out with the coaching program. I'm in this amazing, beautiful position that I'm incredibly fucking grateful for. And again, normally I would have done something very special for every 10K milestone that we hit. Like the last time when we hit 10K subs, or I think it was when we hit 5K subs, I did, 2 whole videos that were just special videos. But this has kind of just come out of nowhere. All of this happened within a month. I would wake up and there'd be an extra 5,000 subscribers on the channel. And I was kind of freaking out a little bit. I was like, holy shit. Like, is this a mistake? Did YouTube glitch or something? No, I just spent like $500 and got 10,000 subscribers. So this kind of happened out of nowhere. I'm kind of catching up a little bit, but I am incredibly grateful. I'm grateful for every single one of you that sits here and listens to me. I'm incredibly grateful for those of you who don't, listen to me if you want to, don't if you don't want to. I'm grateful to every single one of my coaching clients who's ever helped me pay the bills. I'm grateful for all of you who change your lives and do beautiful things and then send me an email or leave a comment and tell me what you've been up to. I'm grateful that we all get to hang out on this channel. Maybe I'll do a special video when we hit 50K subs, but Jesus Christ, it's happening so quick that I almost can't catch up. So as for the future of the channel, I guess as for the future of the community, something that Cam, my good friend, asked me probably 6 months or so ago, we were having kind of a chat, and he said, what is your direction for the channel or for the community? Like, what do you want to do 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And that's not really a question that I can answer. A lot of you know that my philosophy is very much having a mindset of curiosity and sort of going with the flow and seeing what happens. Obviously, I have things that I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about helping people. I'm very passionate about giving back as much as I possibly can, about sharing all of the knowledge and the things that I've learned over the last, 10 or 15 years of self-improvement. I'm very passionate about giving back, but I don't know what form that's going to be in. I can't predict where I'll be 6 months from now, let alone 5 years from now. I think I will still be doing coaching. I think I will still have this YouTube channel. I think I will still have a podcast and a website and all of that. I will be helping people in some form or another. I will be sharing as much as I can in some form and giving out as much love and compassion and kindness as I possibly can. But I don't know exactly what format that's going to look like. I don't know if I'll be doing coaching. I don't know where the channel is going to go. I can make some predictions that might come true, one of which is probably that I'm going to be covering more topics on peace and love and spirituality. And when I say spirituality, what I really just mean is peace and happiness and stuff like that, and stoicism and stuff like that. But those are things that I care about. But other than that, I don't know, man. This is such a wild ride that I feel like I'm on. When I first started this journey, the idea that I could ever be in a position where I didn't want to kill myself every single day and hundreds of times a day, that was just such a wild notion. I never thought that it was possible to get to a point where I didn't want to die, where I wasn't suicidal. And almost everything that's happened after that has just felt like bonus content or DLC content. I never could have predicted that I would have such an amazing, abundant sex life. I never in a billion years thought that any women would be nice to me. I never thought that I would have any friends, growing up, and until I was about 29, 28, I had basically no friends, basically zero friends. So the idea of people even liking me was such a radical out there notion. The idea that anyone would ever listen to anything that I had to say, or even that I had to say anything interesting at all, that was a wild notion. I never could have predicted that I'd be sitting here with 40,000 of you who've clicked the subscribe button. And by the way, that's only 20% of the people that watch my videos. Most people don't subscribe. I mean, yeah, look, if I pull up YouTube analytics, it is literally what I just said. 20% of people are subscribed, 80% are not. So there's countless more people that are watching and are not even subscribed. I never could have predicted that. I didn't even think I'd get 50 subscribers. That wasn't even something that I thought of. I never thought that I could coach anyone. I didn't think that I could ever help anyone. I didn't think that I could possibly improve someone's life in any meaningful way. I never could have predicted that I would meet someone like Imogen, my partner, and that we'd build something. Every single day we would build the relationship and make it even better, and slowly, systematically over time, get to a point where we've been together for 6 years and we just have such a beautiful, amazing, relationship that brings me so much joy and gratitude and love every single day. I never could have predicted that. I never could have predicted that I would ever have a threesome in my entire life, let alone, I don't even know at this point. I think we've dated like 50 women together or something and had threesomes. And, the girl that we're seeing right now, we've been seeing her for over a year. I never could have predicted that anyone would want to date us for more than a year or even close to that. I haven't been able to predict literally anything that's happened. And it's all felt like this amazing, surreal, beautiful, like bonus content. It's this weird roller coaster that I'm on, and there are many times I wake up and I'm tripping balls. I just feel like this is so surreal, and so the idea of being able to predict where this is going to go or what I'm going to do, no way in hell, man. I never would have predicted anything that has happened in the last like 10 years. And I sure as hell can't predict what's going to happen in the future. So again, to really underline this, I'm so incredibly grateful for all of you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Like I said, we cover topics on sex, dating, relationships, love, starting a business, content creation, financial abundance, health, mental health, happiness, spirituality, all of that kind of stuff, stoicism, basically whatever people would like from me. In my coaching program, I cover all of that and more. I obviously put more time into my coaching clients than I do the YouTube channel, obviously, because people are paying me to. So if you want more one-on-one help, I will leave a link in the description to my coaching program. But yeah, guys and girls, I'm just incredibly grateful. You can tell that I'm unprepared here, that I don't really have a plan, but yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful. I'm excited to help more people. I'm excited to just sit around and exist and just be. Like I've said, I'm on this very sort of spiritual journey. I spend hours a day literally just sitting on, you can't see it on the video, but there's a couch right there in front of me. I just sit on that couch and I kind of look out at the window, or I go for a walk, or I go sit in a park, and I just spend hours a day just thinking and just feeling incredible gratitude for all of you, for this life that I've been given or I get to partake in, for the universe, for, if you're a religious or a spiritual person, for God, or I like to use the word life or universe. That's the word that I substitute for God. But I'm just incredibly grateful. I'm grateful that I get to just basically do whatever I want every day. And for any of you that, that maybe that sounds appealing to you, you'd love to just quit your job and just sit around doing whatever the fuck you want. I'm here, if nothing else, as a lighthouse to show you that it is possible, that it is something that you can do. It took me quite a lot of time to get here. It's been the better part of 10 or 15 years of constant self-improvement to get to this point, but you can do it far quicker than that. I've had plenty of coaching clients on my channel that I've done interviews with where, they earned their first $500 from a new business within 2 weeks of coaching, or we've had people that are currently making like $10,000, $15,000, and even one guy making $45,000 a month, from businesses. So this stuff is possible. But yeah, again, I'm just very, very grateful, very overwhelmed in the most beautiful way, very surprised, to be honest. I really didn't have much expectations for, I guess, the entire channel, but definitely no expectations for us hitting 40,000 subscribers. What's fucking funny is at the start of this year, I said to Imogen, if we get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we started the year at about 7,000 subscribers or something, I said, if we get to 20,000, oh my God, like that would just be the most amazing growth ever. Like I would be so unbelievably grateful for that. And that conversation was like a month ago. And within a month, we've now doubled that and we're at like 40,000. So this keeps happening in my life. Every time I have some like upper threshold or a limit on what I think is possible. Like I will have in my head that I think this certain goal is possible, or, X, Y metric is what we're going to hit. We just go so far and beyond that every single time I set a goal that I've basically just stopped even setting goals. Like at this point, I don't set goals anymore. I really don't. I have this whiteboard that I use every year and I write all my goals on it. Let's see if you can see this. These are my goals for this year. 2024, my only goal is be still, as in sit still, meditate, be very present, all that beautiful spirituality stuff, all that Buddhism shit of just sitting there and doing nothing. That's it. That's the only goal that I have for this year. Because anytime I set a goal, it is now at the point where it just happens within a month, even though I thought it might take a year or two. Or it'll happen that same day. And I'll be like, what the hell? This was supposed to take a year and it just happened immediately. And so I don't even set goals anymore. It very much feels like I'm, as I said before, living this incredible roller coaster life where just beautiful abundance happens and just comes to me and comes to the people that I care about as a product or as a consequence of all the sort of little habits that I've built over the last like 10 or 15 years. And it took a long time for that to start steamrolling. Like at the start when I first started trying to get decent with women, I would put in so much effort and like get 0 matches on Tinder. Or I would go outside and talk to like 50 women and hit on them and nobody would give me a phone number, or I'd get 1 or 2 phone numbers, but they wouldn't reply to me. Or I would sit down and record, 20 pieces of content and I would pour my heart and soul into it. I would put everything I had into the content and 5 people would read it and it would do nothing. Or I would try my absolute hardest to bring in coaching clients so I could pay the bills and just keep the lights on, and nobody would sign up. And it felt like I was giving everything that I possibly had to give. And now I get to sit here and put what feels like no effort. It feels like effortless action and beautiful things happen. If we go on a dating app, if my girlfriend and I, Emmy, go on a dating app for like 3 days, we'll meet like 3 women and go, okay, turn the dating off now. That's more than enough women. Like that's almost too many women. We don't have time to meet them all. Or I'll do one piece of content and I will just say some, I don't know, offhanded thing that just appears in my brain. I didn't even think of it. Like, hey, what if you try this? And people will go, wow, that's life-changing. I'm going to do that. Holy shit, you've changed my life. That happens in coaching all the time. It feels effortless now to coach people, whereas at the start, it took all the willpower and energy and effort that I possibly had. And I was nervous and I was terrified, so it was even scarier. Whereas now it feels like I just hang out with people for a couple of hours and their lives magically get changed. And the reason that I'm telling you all of this is to give you a light at the end of the tunnel. If you're just starting out with your dating life, like building a dating life, or maybe you've just started a new business, or you've started at the gym and you're losing weight, or you're wanting to lose weight, it might feel at the start that it takes all the effort, the willpower, the discipline, the motivation, everything you possibly have, and you get almost no results back. It feels like you didn't leave anything in the tank. You gave everything, and there's almost no like positive feedback from that. You don't get the results that you want. And it feels sort of like you're never going to make it, or you feel hopeless. So you think, what's the point? Andy doesn't look like he has to try, or, I don't know, David Goggins or these other people that I follow, they look like they put in no effort and they make millions of dollars, or they lose all this weight, or they have women just fawning over them, or they fall in love. They get whatever they want with like no effort. Why does it take me so much effort? And it's because you don't have something called leverage. When you're just starting a new goal, you don't have much in the way of leverage. You put all of this effort in and you get almost no results. But then the person who's already successful, who's put in the time and the years to grind and get to that point, they put in no effort and they get all of this abundance and these beautiful things flow back to them. They basically wave their wand and they can make millions of dollars. Or they put in 2 seconds worth of effort on a dating app and a bunch of women or men come to them and say, hey, I'd love to date you. You seem amazing. You have amazing pictures, blah, blah, blah. Let's date. And I'm telling you, if you just stick it out, if you keep taking those baby steps every single day, or as many days as you possibly can, if you can just be consistent and just hang in there and not quit and just keep going, I'm promising you, results start to come in. And then they start to come in a little more easily. And then they start to come in a little more often. And there's a little more of them. You're more abundance, or you get more abundance. And eventually you get to a point where it really doesn't feel like you're trying anymore because you have built the habits, you've built the mindset, you've learned all the knowledge that you needed to learn, and you now have the experience and I guess the confidence and the ability to relax into the process and surrender to the process and trust in the process and have faith that if you just put in a little bit of effort, you'll get the results back. But I know that that can be really hard at the start. I feel that too. Like I said, it took me 4 years of literally grinding, and I enjoyed it, so I wasn't suffering, but literally grinding to get the channel to 10,000 subscribers. I made 500 and something videos, and not just short videos. Plenty of them were 1 or 2 hours long of me pouring my heart and soul into helping all of you, helping other people, trying to genuinely change people's lives, not just doing a video, but like I want to change people's lives with every single video as best I can. I don't always succeed at that, but that's my mission and I'm going to try. That was a lot. Like 500 pieces of content. That might just sound like a number, but any of you who've tried making content or something, or tried, doing a podcast or a YouTube channel, go make 500 pieces of content, for a couple of years. And then, by the way, another 500 articles and another like 600 podcasts over on my Spotify podcast. But, a couple of times I even did a 365-day project. I did 2 of them in the last 4 years where I would do one piece of content, at least one piece of content every single day for a year. That's a lot. That's like no small task. But look at what it got me. Look at the position that I'm in now. It's just such a beautiful place of abundance that I have so much gratitude and love and happiness for, and, for all of you as well. As in, I'm very grateful for all of you. But that took a long time, to get my dating and my love life and my sex life into a point where I can now literally just say to Imogen, my girlfriend, hey, let's meet a new girl. And she'll go, sure. And she'll jump on the dating app and she'll, a week or two later be like, hey, here's this girl. Do you like her pictures? Let's go on a date with her on Friday. Cool, easy, done. And then before I know it, we're having a threesome. Like, that took quite a while to get to. But when you get there, when you get to the promised land, so to speak, I'm telling you, it is so unbelievably beautiful. Now, don't sit there and use that as an excuse to be unhappy and ungrateful for the present moment. Don't delay your happiness and say, I'll be happy when I can have threesomes and when I have a big business. No, learn how to be happy. And that's kind of what my channel is for. Learn how to be happy every step of that journey, obviously. I wasn't sitting there going, I'm going to be happy when I have a threesome. I'm going to be happy when I have a lot of sex. I'm going to be happy when I have a big YouTube channel. Not that I have a big YouTube channel yet, but no, I didn't delay my happiness. But when you do get to that point where you have more leverage and it takes you far less effort and far less time to have amazing sex, or to communicate with your partner and not argue, or have a bunch of friends and you go out and you just do beautiful things together and you have all these amazing experiences. When you get to the point where those things take like literally zero effort, or what feels like zero effort, which sometimes that can take years to build, I'm telling you, that is such a beautiful place to be in that I promise you it is worth it. I know it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, especially when you're first starting out. And it feels like you go to the gym for a couple of weeks and you're grinding and you're giving everything you can, but the weight's not coming off and you're just fucking tired and exhausted. Or you're going outside and you're talking to 50 women and all of them just don't really give you a phone number because you're inexperienced, you're nervous, you don't know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. Like, I promise you, even though in that moment it can be very hard to even envision a moment you could get to where this is effortless and results come in, I promise you, it's possible. I have coached enough people at this point, literally hundreds of people, might even be 1,000 people at this point, who all felt exactly that same way. They were starting out their dating life, they were starting out a new business, they were starting out losing weight, whatever it is that they're working on, maybe peace and happiness and mental health and all of that, overcoming depression, whatever. They were starting out and they very much felt like, I'm getting nowhere. There's no traction. I'm making no progress. I'm putting in more effort than Andy or anyone else does. More effort than the guys or the girls and guys who are successful. I'm putting in way more effort than them. I'm trying way harder. And yes, you are. You literally are trying harder than me or other people that you might look up to. But you feel like, fuck, I'm getting nothing back for this. Like, how come Andy can not even try and he can have a threesome? Like, he doesn't even do anything. His girlfriend organizes threesomes for him. What the fuck? He just sits there in front of a YouTube channel, in front of a microphone and with his camera on, and he just talks for like half an hour. And then what? People pay him $11,000 for that? What the fuck? Like, obviously, they don't pay me for the content, but they pay me to coach them. But like, you look at that and you're like, he doesn't even try. Why is he getting money? Or you might look at the rich person. You know how many people are jealous of celebrities and people who are rich and all of that? You look at them and you're like, they can just wave their magic wand and just make $1 million out of nowhere. They just endorse some shitty like project or some shitty like product or something on Instagram, and they get sponsored millions of dollars for just saying, "Hi, I like Nike shoes," or "I like Adidas." Like, ha ha ha, isn't that cool? And they just get millions of dollars. It can be very easy to look at that and feel disheartened or feel like it's unfair or it's unjust. How come they don't have to put in any effort and they get all the rewards? I'm putting in more effort than they are, which is objectively true, and yet I'm getting nothing back. And it's just a matter of leverage. I promise you, if you just stick in there and stick it out and do it for long enough, and sometimes it takes years. If we include my blog, I've spent 6 or 7 or 8 years, you could even say, let's just say 6 years, building all of my content, building my brand, so to speak. Not that I think of this as a brand, it's more like a community, but building this community or this brand or whatever, building all of this. That's been 6 years of like non-stop spending every second of that thinking about how I can give value to people and help them and genuinely change their lives. I didn't just do content for 6 years. It's been 6 years of pouring in every millisecond of that to helping other people. And that's obviously a little bit tiring. I didn't suffer. I enjoyed every second of it, but my God, was it fucking tiring. And it was a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of doubts, a lot of moments where I was like, this isn't going to work. I'm putting in all this effort and I'm getting nothing in return. And yet other people can just make a new book and suddenly get tens of millions of dollars. I write the Tinder guide, which is 130,000 words long. And I spend 9 months working on that. And it doesn't really do it. I didn't get any money from that. It took time, but like nothing amazing came in immediately. And yet someone else can write a shitty book, or they can have a ghostwriter write it for them. And they don't even do anything. They didn't even contribute to the book. And they just print millions of dollars. And I felt disheartened at times. I felt hopeless. I felt like I was never going to make it. I promise you these feelings are very normal. But if you just stick at it for the months or usually years that it can take to build beautiful, big things, I promise you that it's worth it when you get there. And by the way, if you're not that ambitious, if you don't want to start some massive big business, or you don't want to have a whole bunch of sex, you just want to meet one woman who's nice to you and you guys build something beautiful together, or you just want to start a family, not that that's just starting a family. Starting a family is something amazing and beautiful, but like maybe you don't want to have an incredible, amazing, humongous, crazy sex life or a ton of money. Maybe you just have slightly smaller, more humble, more, I guess you'd say, smaller goals. Like, then it won't even take that long. Like, it's possible within a couple of years. But if you can just start thinking a little more long term, instead of saying, I want the payoff right now, if you can just wait a year or two or a couple of years, I promise you that it's worth it. Most people quit really early on after like a couple of months of working on a goal, maybe 6 months at the most, because they just had too high expectations. They're expecting it to pay off a little too quickly. But if you can instead drop the expectations and just stick at it for long enough, I promise you that it's worth it. I promise you. I bring this up on the channel a lot. This is a framed picture I have of a quote that one of my friends said, my best friend actually, where he said, I have no expectations, only curiosity. If you can have this mindset when it comes to your goals and just say, I have no expectations. Like, obviously there's things you want, otherwise you wouldn't be working on the goal. You want to lose the weight, you want to make the money, you want to get the beautiful girl or the beautiful guy. You want these things, obviously. That's why you're working on the goal. But if you can have no expectations about when that's going to come in or what timeline that's going to come in other words, if you can kind of let go of the 5-year plan a little bit, like have the plan fine, but just don't be beholden to it. Don't get upset if it takes a little bit longer. Don't be upset if you need to tweak it and change it a little bit. The number of times that I've had to completely change or deviate from my plan, or things haven't come in as quickly as I might have liked them to, I promise you it's beautiful when you eventually get to that point where it starts to pay off. In other words, that point where you have a little bit more leverage. To really underline everything here today, I'm incredibly grateful for all of you. I'm very fucking surprised that we have 40,000 subscribers. Literally earlier or just last month, we were at 10,000 and I was mind blown by that. Now we're at 40,000. I guess the sky is the limit. I'm super excited to be here with all of you. If you would like more help with any of this, my help or the help of the other coaches in the coaching program, I have $200 coaching calls. We can sit down with me for a couple of hours and cover anything you want. There's a link down below to that. I also have a hardcore coaching program where we get in there, we change your life, all that beautiful stuff. There's a link down below to that. I have a video course as well that covers so much stuff. All that good shit is down below. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We're a very positive, very giving, welcoming community, and we're here to help you in whatever way we possibly can. We're here to inspire each other. Nothing but good vibes. Try not to be too negative. Try and be a little bit more positive, a little bit more loving and welcoming and all that good shit. Grateful that you're here. Grateful that I get to be here. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and crush those goals.